is Ruel's Running Podcast, a podcast about running, health, family, play, and an NSNG lifestyle. And now, here's your host, Ruel.
Excuse me as I rock on. That's Went Away by Dorothy Lane. Dorothy Lane out of Martinez, California. That's out of the Cut and Dry album. Check them out at dorothylanemusic.com. Yeah.
All right, guys. Welcome back to the show. I guess I'll kick off talking about what little bit of running I've done. Once again, welcome back. New listeners, thanks for being here. I am Ruel Abadam, as the intro indicated. And I at one point in time had identified myself as a recreational ultra runner, but as of late, past couple of years, I've pretty much been a faker, right? Not a whole lot of running, my whole sort of work situation changed. For a good number of years, I spent time running in the middle of the day in the city of San Francisco. And prior to me working in that city, I worked in a different place, south, in a different city, and I spent a lot of time running along the slough or the water, still in the San Francisco Bay Area. But, for the past couple of years, haven't been in the city, so I've been spending a lot more time at home, working from home, which I never imagined would ever be a reality. Something that I wish that I had the opportunity to do, but now that it's a reality, I never realized the impact it would have on a lot of things that I've done, so, for me, spending the time running in the city in the middle of the day was pretty therapeutic. And even though running out and back into the financial district of the city was pretty disgusting, right, I've still found a level of interest, fascination, and level of therapeutic sort of effects running out of the downtown and more towards the bay and exploring the city. So I no longer have that because I work from home. So the other thing that this shift has impacted is the podcast. I spent a lot of time during commute back and forth to the train station over here. It's called the BART station. I spent a lot of time thinking about and recording, stuff that way. Even before I worked in San Francisco, and I was at a different company, I drove in, so I had tons more time to do that sort of recording. And you could see that, in the old sort of videos that I used to post on YouTube under the Ruel's Running blog, I think is what I used to call it. And so, all of that shift and the pandemic has really, taken its toll to some level, and a significant level, right? I've talked many times in the past how being able to record on the podcast has like running, has been therapeutic, has been some sort of my own self-therapy. And once the podcasting stopped, I lost that level of therapy. And when my running slowed down or came to a halt, I lost that as well. So, then, you throw in how messed up the whole past couple of years have been with the corona and the pandemic, and the level of stress and anxiety and depression and worry that can come with that sort of period. And it's still kind of still around, but not as bad as it used to be. It's just really hard mentally, and from there it trickles down into sort of the body and the physical. So in a way, I feel like I've been trying to crawl out of it. I've been trying to climb out of it. I'm trying to run out of it. And still a process, still an effort. I did, and I mentioned before that I had my last long run. I did the Berkeley Trail Adventure, and I've attempted that at least a couple other times in the past, and I went out for the 50K and failed miserably for both. One time getting lost, attempting to beat, not concerned about cutoff, but attempting to just finish the course, but I got lost. And then another time, I lost the cutoff and got pulled off, but it was all still pretty tough work for me. But this year I participated and signed up for the 35K, so just a little bit over 20 miles, I calculate, is what I think that comes down to. Still was a lot of work, and I didn't prepare in any way. I didn't train like I've done many times in other efforts, and always managed to squeak by, or at least not die. So I did the 35K, and I was out there for as long as I imagined I'd be. I did finish, and I finished dead last. So it felt great. I mean, it was tough. Like, I'm out of shape. I'm not fit for I wasn't fit for the level of running, the level of climbing, that I put myself through. My upper thighs, or my inner upper thighs, just really close to the groin. I cramped up big time after I stopped running. When I hit that finish line, and one of the staff of the event, gave me my finisher's medal, and I kind of walked it off to the side, and I just was cramping so bad. I had to hold myself up with my trekking poles. I couldn't sit down. I couldn't stretch. I just sort of seized up. Medical staff walked over to me and asked if I was okay, and I described what was going on, and they were recommending that I do my best to stretch it out. But I was like, if I change positions at all, I'm just going to be in more pain. I can't imagine. But, I pulled through. I survived. Yeah, I've forgotten how tough that course was. There's a lot of me making progress through the course and just trying to remember, because it had been so long. I'm trying to remember, like, the course and what to expect next. There was a lot of spots where I forgot, like, oh my God, I forgot about this section. I remember now, like, I guess I have work to do. And there was a lot of remembering how the mindset is when, for me, I don't sign up for it to be a cakewalk. That never should be the case. I always sign up to challenge myself, and when I sign up to challenge myself, it means that it's going to be some degree of a sufferfest. And it was. And I had to remind myself that, when I cramped up and seized up and all of these different things and things hurt and I was tender in certain spots, I had to remind myself that was going to be normal and that I could just sort of let that be its thing, and I could move forward and live with it. So yeah, that was that experience.
Yeah, sorry about that beeping. That was just me. I'm in the vehicle, so that was just the car telling me, don't go too far ahead, otherwise you're going to crash into something. So yeah, so that was my last long run. I think the only sort of conditioning that I did leading up to that, and it really wasn't conditioning. I had spent several mornings riding a bike with my wife. Well, she has her own bike. We would ride our bikes together in the morning for about an hour, multiple times leading up to it. So I had done some level of movement, but definitely it wasn't specific to running and the elevation and the terrain, which was tough. But happy to say I did it. I'm very satisfied with my performance, and I'm looking forward to figuring out what to do next. And in the meantime, I'm going to try to find opportunities to run and try to get back into a groove. And that's all I got, guys. Thanks for tuning in. This is going to be a quick one, a short one. I appreciate you and look forward to more. Take care now. Bye. Do you need a website? If you're an individual, a consultant, a group, or small business and need a site, or maybe you have an existing site, I can help. How about graphic design? Do you need a design for a t-shirt, logo, product, business cards? Maybe you need help with designing and developing a brand. I'm not an expert, but I do have the tools and the techniques to get the job done. How about a podcast? Yep, like this thing. This thing's a silly little show. Are you looking to set up a podcast of your own? Are you looking to reach an audience? Promote your business via podcast? Well, Abadam Studios. That's right, Abadam Studios. Yeah, so that's Abadam Studios. AbadamStudios.com, AbadamStudios.com. Check it out.
Thanks for listening to Ruel's Running Podcast with Ruel. If you like what you just heard, share it with your friends and your enemies. Also, be sure to check out the site over at ruelsrunning.com. This has been another Coffee with Heavy Cream production. Join us next time for another silly show of Ruel's Running Podcast.